Hello, friends. Welcome to Storycraft. On this channel, you will enjoy world-top stories. Let's view the video. The Forgotten Warrior of the Great Wall. Whispers Beyond the Stones. The wind howled across the northern ridge of the Great Wall, its icy breath sweeping dust and old voices through the cracks of ancient stone. High above the valley, alone, God stood watch, his armor battered, his eyes hollow with memory. His name was Liang, and no one remembered why he still guarded a wall that no longer needed defenders. Beneath his feet, moss crept between the bricks, each one a relic of battles. Long past, the Empire had forgotten this outpost, its command dissolved, its purpose lost. Yet Liang remained, as if bound by something stronger than duty. The sun dipped low, painting the mountains in hues of crimson. Liang adjusted his grip on his rusted spear. He wasn't waiting for an invasion. He was waiting for a voice. And tonight, it came. A whisper slithered across the stones, almost inaudible, like breath drawn from the wall itself. Liang! He spun around, spear raised, eyes searching the shadows. Nothing, only wind, only stone, only the whisper of his own name, lingering like a ghost. Years ago, this tower had been alive with soldiers, fires, laughter, and war cries. Liang had led them all, but that was before the order came, before the silence, before they vanished. He descended the spiral steps into the tower's heart, torch in hand. The flame danced across faded murals, dragons, battles, and the Emperor's crest. His fingers traced a symbol carved into the wall, a red lotus, the mark of the Forgotten Legion. Another whisper, this time closer. You left us. Liang's breath caught. Show yourself. The shadows deepened. From the far corner, a figure emerged, tattered armor, hollow eyes, and a blade rusted with age. A soldier, one of his own. You swore to protect us, the ghost murmured, its voice cracking like frozen earth. But you ran. Liang stepped back, heart pounding. I didn't run. I was ordered to retreat. The ghost raised its blade. And we were ordered to die. Memories crashed down like falling stones, flames lighting up the night, the gates overrun, his men screaming, the retreat horn never sounding. He had begged the Emperor for reinforcements. None came. He had stayed. Until the last horn was blown. Or had he? Liang dropped to his knees. I waited. I thought you all had fallen. The ghost's eyes glowed faintly. We did. And now, we wait for justice. The torch flickered out. Silence swallowed the tower. Liang stood in darkness, a single truth burning in his chest. He had not been forgotten. He had been judged, and the wall was remembering. The Oath in the Shadows. Rain fell in thin sheets, washing over the ancient stones of the wall like tears from the heavens. Inside the tower, Liang lit a new torch, the flames trembling in the cold air. The ghost was gone, but its voice still echoed in his ears. You swore to protect us. He descended deeper into the forgotten tunnels beneath the wall, tunnels known only to commanders and the elite guards. The passageways hadn't been touched in decades. Cobwebs hung like curtains, and every step kicked up clouds of dust and memory. In the flickering torchlight, he found it, an iron door, half-rotted, bearing the same red lotus symbol. the seal of the Forgotten Legion, his legion. Liang pressed his palm to the symbol. A faint warmth pulsed beneath the stone. The door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber lined with armor stands, scrolls, and a massive altar. At the center stood the Legion's oath stone, a black slab carved with the blood oath of every warrior who had once served the Emperor on this wall. His name was there too, etched in deep red strokes. He stepped forward. I, Liang of the Northern Flame, sworn commander of the Forgotten Legion, returned to answer the call. The stone pulsed. The air grew thick, humming with energy. Shadows gathered at the edge of the room, swirling like smoke, taking form. One by one, the spirits of his fallen comrades appeared, dozens of them, faces twisted in sorrow, armor fractured, swords still bloodied from a battle long buried by time. "Why now?" one of them asked. It was Jinhai, his second in command. Her voice was sharp, eyes burning with the fire of betrayal. Liang bowed his head. "Because I remember. Because I saw what I had tried to forget. You were left behind, and I bore the silence like a coward." Another voice rose. "We trusted you, Liang. We died believing you would come." "I did return," he whispered. But too late. Jinhai stepped forward, her ghostly hand resting on the oath stone. "Then you must take the oath again, not to the Emperor, not to the wall, but to us." Liang hesitated. "What does that mean?" "To finish what we began, to uncover why we were sacrificed, to awaken the memory buried beneath these stones. The truth has been sealed, and only one still breathes to break it." Liang knelt before the stone. "I take the oath, in shadow and silence, in death and memory. I am yours until justice is done." A wind surged through the chamber, extinguishing the torch. The walls shook. The oath stone glowed, casting an eerie red light across the chamber. Jinhai's eyes met his. "Then rise, Commander. The past is no longer buried. The wall remembers. And so must the Empire." As the chamber fell silent, Liang felt the weight of 100 eyes upon him, not of the living, but of the warriors betrayed. He was no longer alone, and his oath had been renewed. Battle beneath the moonlight. The moon rose full and pale above the great wall, casting ghostly silver across the ancient stones. Liang emerged from the secret chamber, his armor now adorned with a crimson sash, the symbol of a warrior bound by oath beyond death. The wind had changed. He could feel it in his bones. From the tower's highest platform, he gazed across the dark valley. The village below, once abandoned, flickered with strange fires. Shadows moved where no life should stir. Jinhai appeared beside him, her spectral form solid in the moonlight. "They're not men," she whispered. "Not anymore." Liang narrowed his eyes. Figures were climbing the northern slope, silent, unnatural, their eyes glowing faintly green. Twisted things, wearing fragments of old imperial armor, as if risen from shallow graves. He turned to the signal horn, once used to warn the Empire of an enemy's approach. It hadn't sounded in years. He lifted it to his lips and blew. The sound echoed through the valley, ancient and deep, waking something in the stones. Beneath the tower, the old barracks groaned. Dust burst from the walls. Then the doors slammed open. The spirits of the Forgotten Legion emerged, armor glowing faintly, blades reforged in spectral light. Dozens of them lined the wall beside Liang, eyes fixed on the crawling horror below. They come for the wall, Jinhai said. But it's our wall. Liang raised his spear. Then we give them war. The first of the creatures reached the base of the wall, clawing at the stones. Others scaled the side with unnatural speed. Arrows of light flew from the hands of ghostly archers, striking with silent precision. The air filled with flickering flashes and hollow shrieks. Liang leapt into the fray, his blade singing through the air. He struck a creature in the chest, no blood, only ash. Another lunged at him with jagged steel. He ducked, spun, drove his spear through its skull. It collapsed, dissolving into dust. More climbed. More came. Too many. Jinhai fought beside him, her ghostly blade leaving trails of flame as it moved. "They were once soldiers," she shouted. "Twisted by dark rites. Someone feeds them." "Then we find the one who commands," Liang replied, parrying a blow that cracked the stones beneath his feet. A monstrous figure rose at the ridge, a towering warrior in black armor, eyes glowing red. He lifted a curved blade and pointed it toward the wall. Liang froze. He recognized that armor. It was the Emperor's own elite, his personal guard. "That's impossible," Jinhai muttered. The figure spoke, its voice booming across the valley. "You were warned, Liang. This wall was never meant to remember." The creatures howled in unison, storming the wall with renewed fury. Liang's heart pounded. The truth was unraveling. Their betrayal had not been chaos. It had been designed. And the enemy now commanding the dead had once served the very throne they protected. But the Forgotten Legion would not fall again. With a roar, Liang charged forward, his blade ignited with the fire of his oath. The battle beneath the moonlight had only begun. The betrayal of the Emperor's guard. The black-armored figure stood still at the ridge, unmoving amidst the chaos. His presence alone choked the air like smoke. The dead obeyed him, not by voice, but by force of will. He raised his blade again, and the tide of creatures surged forward. Liang locked eyes with the phantom general. Beneath the helm's shadow, he saw something chilling, familiarity. That armor. "It belonged to Commander Ren," Liang muttered. "The Emperor's shadow." Jinhai appeared beside him, her blade dripping spectral flame. Ren was loyal. Feared, but loyal. He died defending the palace during the purge. Liang shook his head. No, he didn't die. He vanished. Another wave struck the wall. Arrows flew, spears clashed, ghosts screamed. Liang cut through the horror, forcing his way down the stone steps, past the battlements, and out into the forested slope below. The Legion followed, blades glowing like falling stars. He broke into the clearing just as the Black General stepped forward, towering over the battlefield. "Ren!" Liang shouted. "Why lead the dead against your own empire?" The general's voice rolled like thunder. "Empire! There is no empire. Only rot." His helm fell away, revealing a pale, scarred face, half of it burned, the other etched with runes that pulsed red. "They left us, Liang," Ren spat. "You, me, the Legion. We were weapons. When the northern threat ended, they buried us in silence." Liang tightened his grip. "So you turned to darkness? I turned to truth. The Emperor feared what we knew. The betrayal began in the palace. I merely finished it." Jinhai approached, her eyes locked on Ren. "You wore our crest. You swore the same oath." Ren sneered. and I was the first to see it meant nothing. With a guttural cry, he raised his blade, and a shockwave blasted through the ground. Tombstones cracked, earth split. From below, skeletal remains twisted upward, armored corpses dragging rusted weapons. Liang shouted to his legion, "Hold the line!" The forest became a battlefield of ghosts and bones, of firelight and shadow. Steel met claw, flame met rot. The wall loomed in the distance, glowing faintly, as if aware of the war returning to its roots. Ren charged. Liang met him head-on. Blades clashed, sparks flying like lightning. Each strike echoed with the weight of history, each movement a memory of drills once shared in imperial courtyards. Ren moved like a storm, unrelenting, furious. Liang held ground, deflecting, parrying, his spirit blade humming with energy. "You could have warned us," Liang shouted between blows. "You could have saved them!" Ren roared. "I tried, but the Emperor had already signed your deaths. I begged for mercy. He gave me exile and silence." Liang drove his blade into Ren's chest. It stopped short, blocked by armor infused with dark sigils. Ren's counterstrike sent Liang crashing into the mud. Before the killing blow could fall, a wall of ghostly shields formed around Liang, his fallen comrades still protecting their commander. Jinhai's voice rang out. "We will not fall again." Ren stepped back, watching the spectral wall rise. "This isn't over," he growled. "You've awoken more than memory." Then he vanished into black mist, taking the dead with him. Silence returned to the slope. But the truth was now clear. Betrayal had begun at the heart of the Empire, and vengeance was far from over. Legacy etched in silence. Dawn broke, casting gold across the Great Wall's ancient stones. Smoke lingered in the air, mingling with the scent of old blood and burned memories. The battlefield below lay quiet. No movement, no sound. Only the weight of what had been revealed. Liang stood at the highest watchtower, staring toward the imperial capital beyond the horizon. The truth burned brighter than any sunrise. The Emperor had betrayed them. Behind him, the spirits of the Forgotten Legion gathered, wounds closed, blades sheathed, but their eyes, those spectral, glowing eyes, still carried the fire of justice not yet served. Jinhai stepped forward, placing her hand on Liang's shoulder. "The living will forget, but we will remember." Liang nodded. "And we will return." In the heart of the tower, the oath stone pulsed one final time. Liang placed his palm upon it and whispered the names of every fallen comrade. The stone absorbed them, glowing brighter with each word, until the entire chamber lit like a furnace. The wall responded. For the first time in centuries, ancient glyphs reawakened along its length. Symbols once meant to guide the empires, protect us now blazed with renewed purpose. Liang turned toward the horizon. Ren was still out there, and the Emperor's lies ran deeper than stone. But a reckoning had begun. And from this day forward, the wall would no longer be silent. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel Storycraft for more interesting videos.